Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. I'm Christine. I'm glad you're here. Let's get right into the video. Today I'm going to talk about Monat Reunion, which happens in April, and it's happening every year in the beautiful city of Las Vegas. I'm going to split this video up into 5 parts. Number 1, what is Monat Reunion? Number 2, how do you qualify? Number 3, I'm going through posts of reps that have already posted a lot about this before the event has even started. Number 4, I'm going to cover the actual event. And number 5, the aftermath. I will film this video in 2 parts, so I'm going to go through the content that is already available online today, and then while the conference is happening and maybe a day or 2 after, I will also collect more information and then film the second part. Since YouTube is not my job, I want to use my time wisely, so if I look a little bit different in the beginning and in the end of the video, that is the reason why. But let's get into Monat Reunion 2023. Let's take a look at Monat's own website, what they say Monat Reunion is. From April 3rd till the 6th, Monat holds their annual reunion trip in Las Vegas. Now, Monat has many trips, and Reunion is one of those. Reunion is the one that is always being held in Las Vegas, and to my knowledge also always in April. They also have an international trip, their passport trip, but this is the one in Las Vegas. Monations is Monat's annual conference, and the reps, they can buy tickets to attend this. It's not the case with Reunion. There you have to qualify. Now, I do believe it is one of the easier conventions or trips that you can qualify for because the qualifications are rather low compared to some of the others, like the international trips, but we will go through the specifics here as well. That is why I believe, though, it is possible for a lot more representatives in Monat to attend the reunion rather than a lot of the other trips that seem to be more exclusive because it is harder to qualify for these. Reunion is an incentive trips where the reps meet up in Las Vegas for 4 days. They have a small agenda, certain things that are happening there. They can get together, discuss stuff with their teammates, praise the leaders, and of course also praise their president and their CEO. On Monat's own website, this is what they posted about Reunion. Vegas is for winners, and the qualification period is from August 1st, 2022 until January 31st. It is the ultimate family get-together. Join us as we bring the Monat magic back to Las Vegas for 4 exhilarating days of learning, laughter, launches, and non-stop fun. There's no place on earth quite like Las Vegas, from endless dining options to incomparable nightlife and excitement at every turn. It is the perfect setting for the biggest Monat celebration of the spring. The Monat family is expecting you. Then they're featuring the Power Up Party. This is the agenda Monat posted on their website so far. Agenda is subject to change. Day 1, arrivals and hotel check-in. It's not a lot. Day 2, that is Tuesday, April 4th, a general session from 9:30 a.m. till 4 p.m. Evening reception from 7 till 8:30 p.m. On day 3, you have a full day of leisure, and day 4, it's the hotel checkout and departures. So in a way, it's just a 2-day conference. I mean, I see it's split up over 4 days, but depending from where you're from, you will have to start traveling to Las Vegas on Monday. You might not arrive early in the morning, so it might not be a full day for you, and the same, of course, for the last day. This is a 4-day agenda, but it looks like it is a lot shorter than the actual full 4 days. And then to give you an impression what last year's reunion looked like, these are some pictures, what happened there. People dressing up, being very stylish, being not so stylish, getting together, having fun, being on stage, being all emotional, and being at a pool party. So how do you qualify for Monat Reunion? Like I said, it is an incentive trip, so you cannot just purchase a ticket and attend there. You have to qualify, and you have to do certain things to be able to go to beautiful Las Vegas. The qualification criteria is, first of all, there is a qualification period from August 1st of last year until January 31st, 2023. There is a certain PV requirement that has to be met 5 out of 6 months, and then it is split up in different career ranks, different tiers, and different awards. When you are at the career rank of MP, MMP, AMB, and MB, and you're enrolled as of August 1st, 2022, you have to either, depending on the tier you're at and depending on the kind of award that you might want to receive, make $1,500 in PV, $3,000 in PV, or $4,000 depending on the tier you want to reach. If you are of a career rank of MMB and above as of August 1st, 2022, you have to have 2,000 PV, 3,500, or 5,000 depending on the tier. Now, PV is personal volume. That is the amount of product that the consultants have to pay. One PV is about an equivalent to $1. A minimum of the PV must come from the customers, but you can also purchase a good amount of that if you are a market partner yourself. If you hit the qualification requirements in Tier 1, you will be awarded with a trip and a single room. If you hit the qualification requirements of Tier 2, you will get a trip, the single room, and $300 towards your meals. And if you hit Tier 3, you will get the trip for 2 people, second round trip flight for spouse, non-MP adult guest must be the same itinerary, a single room, and $300 towards your meal. Now, the VIP enrollment requirements for all ranks and all tiers are that you have to enroll 5 or more new VIP customers with 100 plus PV in total purchases during the 6-month qualification period. If you are a VIP customer at Monat, you pretty much sign yourself up for 3 shipments of purchases worth more than $84. You can also leave that program again, but if you do, you might need to pay your way out of this. So depending on the amount of flagships or purchases you have made, you cannot just leave. You can push back your orders as much and as long as you want. But if you want to leave the VIP program, you have to pay your way out to do so, depending on how much product you have already bought. So that's the VIP program they're speaking about. And no matter at what rank you're at, you must have 5 new VIP customers. And then in addition to that, depending on whether you're on the lower ranks or at the higher ranks, you must have a minimum of 1,000 PV that must be from customer purchases each month. Or if you're at the higher rank, a minimum of 1,500 PV must be from customer purchases each month. PV is personal volume, the amount of product that you yourself have sold. It's about an equivalent to $1, and a minimum of 1,000 has to come from customer purchases at the lower ranks, and a minimum has to come from the higher ranks of $1,500. Let's say you are at one of the lower ranks and you want to hit Tier 2 with 3,000 PV. You have to have purchases worth 1,000 PV, and in theory, you could buy the rest. In theory, you could buy the other 2,000 PV. So not all of the purchases that have to happen have to come from your actual customers or VIP customers. You can also, as a representative of Monat, can buy a lot of product yourself if you want to attend this reunion and if you want to hit one of those tiers. Now, the trip includes round-trip coach class airfare, 3-night resort accommodations, and admission to training day and reception. Monat always stays at the MGM Grand, and you get the 3-night resort accommodations in those tiers. Like I already said, I believe this is one of the easier incentive trips for people to achieve. I'm not saying that it is easy, but compared to the other trips, it is one of the easier ones. Now, this reads like an incentive trip that you can achieve by just selling a lot of product if you're a good salesperson, if you have a certain amount of VIP customers and of retail customers, and you reach the PV requirements, you're able to go. But that is not the case. You cannot attend Monat Reunion by just selling a lot of product. Because we can see below, and I actually do appreciate that this year Monat puts that in big letters onto their website. Last year it was rather in the fine print, and it was displayed rather small that all market partners must be paid as MMP or above in January 2023 to qualify. MMP is the managing market partner, and that is the second rank. Monat has a total of 11 ranks, and the one we're talking about is the second rank from the bottom, MMP, managing market partner. When you join Monat, you're automatically a market partner. You don't really have to do much for this. You sign up and you're there. But in order for you to be able to join with Reunion, you have to hit all of the sales requirements I mentioned before, and you have to be at the MMP rank. The qualifications for you to hit that rank, you have to hit a 300 PV personal volume requirement. Like I said, 1 PV point is about $1. You have to have 2 active lines, and you have to have a group volume of 1,200. These are the monthly requirements you have to hit. So if you want to be at the MMP rank, you have to have 2 active lines, aka 2 people that you have recruited that are considered active within the company. So you selling a lot of product is not sufficient. You must also have 2 people on your team. You must hit a certain PV requirement every month, and you also must hit a certain GV, a certain group volume requirement. And when it comes to PV, once again, it is the accumulation of the products you yourself have sold, but also the products you have purchased. So a certain amount of sales requirement is important, and also for you to have a team of at least 2 people who hit those requirements. I'm mentioning this very clearly because we will go through some posts in a moment. And people like to make this opportunity sound like you just have to sell a bunch of products, but that is not the case. I will link Monat's website down below if you want to take a look at it yourself, if you want to check out the terms and conditions yourself, as well as the FAQs that specify, once again, what you have to do to be able to qualify for the reunion trip. But let's take a look at some posts from Monat's market partners who were already super excited when the qualification period in August last year started for the reunion trip. I will have to pull out my glasses for this because otherwise I'm not able to see what's actually being written, and nobody wants that. So let's go through some posts from the market partners that started to post about Monat Reunion in last summer. Somebody says, our company just released qualifications to earn a paid-for trip in Las Vegas, and that's simply by sharing top-of-the-line premium products that literally everyone with a head or skin can use. That is false already, because you don't just share top-line products or products in general. That is something that market partners or MLM reps will say a lot. You don't just share the products. You need to sell the products and then hit additional requirements. So let's keep that in mind. Plan on earning this trip again, which will be my 3rd earned Vegas trip, and that will make a total of 6 earned trips with this company. Travel was not something that was easy for me to do in the past. As a hairstylist and photographer, taking time off was not something that was easy to do. The financial burden being lifted with these trips being paid for by Monat as I earn them has given me the ability to take the time off from my other jobs to enjoy this time away. Monat's trip always happens in the week. It is from April 3rd till the 6th. I'm looking at my calendar. So you have to take time off if you have an actual job so that you can go there from Monday till Thursday. This trip is in certain ways paid for, but it is very likely that you will not be able to cover all of your costs. So you yourself will probably have to pay a good amount as well if you need to go to the airport, if you need to get from the airport to the hotel. I believe there is a shuttle service available on the grounds for the representatives, but if you don't hit the $300 food or beverage tier, then you have to pay for that as well. If you want to go out for cocktails, if you want to do something with your team, you will have to pay for these things yourself, and that can add up. That can be pricey. I do think it is kind of a burden, if you will, that has been taken from you, that has been lifted off of your shoulders if you don't have to pay the full price. But from what I understood, it is not that pricey to go to Vegas in April, and especially if you go there during the week and not even on the weekend. If earning a paid-for vacation is something for you, then please reach out to me. It is not fully paid for, and it's not necessarily a vacation because it's kind of a mixture of a Monat representative partner business trip because you have a certain agenda to follow, but you have a day or two to your own leisure. So it's a weird mixture. I don't know if I would actually call that a vacation. I'm happy to share with you all the things and help get you there with the rest of your crew. About 5 of us on my personally enrolled team earned this trip last year, and I plan on seeing that number get much higher this go round. Judging on this market partner's post, Monat Reunion seems to be good for their promotion as well. They have more content to advertise Monat, to make the business opportunity sound great. Hey, we have another trip coming up. Qualification period started now. Me and my team, we've done this so many times and I plan to earn this trip this time as well. So why don't you get started? There's a little bit of deception here, I believe, because earning a paid for vacation, like I said, I don't really fully agree with that. So I think it is a PR move to post this on their social media as well, in the hopes that people might find this attractive, will sign up with you so that they can work towards that trip in Vegas over the course of the next 6 months. Then we also have posts like this: congratulations to my gal for already earning 2 months out of 5 to Vegas. August isn't even over, and bam. So throughout the qualification period, people are hyping each other up. I already made 2 out of 5 months for this qualification period. I think it is a way to hype each other up, to make this sound really interesting and doable and achievable within the company, but also to make this sound like a promotional item. Like I said before, it is probably of advantage to post this, to put this out there, as Monat reps specifically have been taught to do so. Even if you haven't achieved your goal yet, put them out and show everybody what you're working towards. And that's what I gather from this post as well. Last year at Monat's reunion trip, I just locked in my 5th paid for trip with this company. It's not a fully paid for trip. Depending on the tier you hit, depending the rank you're at, you're able to achieve a certain payment towards this trip, but it's very likely not going to be fully paid for. Going back to Vegas with my best friends for a 3rd time feels like we're at the point where there's tradition on these trips, and now it just makes me so happy. I dreamt of a job that did this. There's this idea that to earn these trips, you have to build a gigantic team. And although our big out-of-the-country trip is based off leadership, this trip was completely earned from my customers loving the products as much as I do. I'm telling you, when the shampoo works, your clients will come back for more. Huge shout out to my VIP customers, as always. Lots of E's and S's on this post. If your shampoo isn't paying you, taking you on free trips, you did it wrong. There is a lot happening at this post. Number 1, your shampoo isn't paying for this, and it's not a free trip. The qualification might be lower than the international trip, the passport trip she's talking about, yet you have to qualify. And it's not necessarily your shampoo paying for this. So let's go back to what I said at the beginning of the video, and that's why I wanted to go through the requirements very, very in depth, to make sure that people understand that posts like these are filled with misinformation. There's this idea that to earn these trips, you have to build a gigantic team. With the international trips, with the leadership trips, with the passport trips, you probably have to build a bigger team if you want to qualify for this. But this trip was not completely earned from her customers loving the products as much as she does. You have to be at the 2nd rank, at the MMP rank, and you have to have 2 people on your team. So you're not able to qualify for this trip by you just purchasing products yourself or selling products to the customers that love these products so much. You must have a team if you want to attend Monat Reunion 2023, and that was also one of the requirements of last year. The writing on Monat's website was a lot smaller, so it was a little bit hidden in my opinion, and this time it is written out a lot bigger, but it is the same requirements. You can hit all of your sales goals over the period of 5 out of those 6 months. If in January you're not at the rank of MMP and you're being paid as that rank, then you're not qualifying. No. This is also, of course, a great way for Monat Market Partners to thank their customers on their social media, but you don't go on these trips just because you have a lot of customers. You must have a team. Huge thank you to each and every one of my VIPs that helped me make this happen. Also many thanks to all of my Monat lovies for encouraging me to never give up. Thanks for reminding me to just keep swimming and help as many people as you can along the way. This mama is officially going on vacation in April, and believe me when I tell you that this hot mess busy mama can do this, wow, that's a tongue twister, you could do too. Trips are so much sweeter when they're earned with friends. We're winding down on the 1st month of our Vegas incentive trip qualification, but there's still time. When you join me in business this month, you automatically qualify for your 1st month towards Vegas in addition to the many other perks. Share the love with some friends and family and you can qualify month 2 as well. I'm already 2 of 5 months qualified, and this will be my 4th time earning this trip. So I know how to help you get there along with our team of incredible women that will guide and cheer you on all the way. If you're ready to make a change, try something new, and live the life you deserve, let's chat. Those are some of the posts that I found. I'm going to take the glasses off because they make me dizzy. I only need those for reading. And I think they're really dirty. Yep, okay, I'm taking care of that later. Hope that wasn't visible in the camera. These were just some of the posts I found of people trying to cheer each other on, trying to cheer themselves on, using this as a way to promote Monat and to promote Reunion. And unfortunately, there is already a good amount of misinformation happening here already. This is not a trip that is free. This is not a trip that is fully paid for. And this is not a trip that you can earn by having a good amount of VIP customers who help you hit your goals every single month based on sales. You must have a team if you want to join Monat Reunion. Monat states this very, very clearly on their own website this year in big ass letters. Let's keep this in mind. I will keep a close eye on the actual Monat Reunion, April 3rd till the 6th. And then I will see you again in a couple of days, although for you it will be just a snap away. Did I fool you? Did I? Did I? No, probably not. I didn't even fool myself. I didn't remember what eyeshadow palette I used to do my makeup, so I look completely different, but I already told you that I'm filming this video in 2 parts, and here is part 2. The day before Reunion, the distributors showed us how excited they were. They were picking out outfits, they were getting ready, they were getting prepped for the actual event. They took us on the road trips or on the trip to Las Vegas. They showed us their hotel rooms once in Vegas. And it seems that that was a tricky topic because apparently at the MGM Grand, at least at the rooms the Monat reps got, there was no coffee machine on the room. So some people packed a coffee machine, which is, creative. That would be me as well. Not because I'm super creative, but no coffee in the morning before I leave the room. I get that. Monat also added a countdown to their official Instagram that it was time to pack for Monat Reunion and for the distributors to not forget their skincare and hair care products. Then on day 1, a lot of the distributors started to arrive. Some were there already before. They settled in, they checked in. And since Monat is an equal opportunity for everybody, there is no internal classist system whatsoever, except that you had the regular check-in and then you also had the director check-in, which looked a little bit more fancy and which was also a great opportunity for the reps to film themselves while they were checking in. The directors received special treatment, of course. They also got a little gift up to their rooms. They got a little notepad and a mini teeny tiny bottle of sparkling wine as a welcome gift. The regular distributors that were not at the director's rank, they were also checking in just like normal people, and then they went onto their rooms, and day 1 was the opportunity for them to also use this as an opportunity to push the products and also to invite people into the Monat business.
Hello, happy Monday. I'm in Vegas, just washed my hair. I'm already failing at this trip. I'm in the desert. I forgot my hyaluronic acid. I forgot my Rejuvenate oil. I'm running low on moisturizer, and I forgot leave-in conditioner. So I'm on my way down to meet my friend in the elevator with a cup to take some of her leave-in conditioner to help my poor hair on this trip because my skin is already about to go through it. Send prayers. Averted. I got leave-in conditioner and my hair feels a lot better, but
how did people in the desert survive without Monat products?
This is my 3rd time coming with Monat. Right. It's one of my favorite weeks of the year. I get to be reunited with all of my best friends, and we're starting to form traditions here, things that we love to do, restaurants that we love to eat at, places that we like to get happy hours, cocktails, and there's nobody I would rather be here with besides my Mo family. This trip is so freaking simple to earn. I cannot express that enough. Before my first year I earned it. I think I had 10 customers at the time, and I was able to earn this trip. I don't think people realize how attainable a lot of this stuff in the shampoo world actually.
I will stop this here or there to give my commentary. You do not earn this trip just by you having customers. That is something a lot of people conveniently leave out. You must recruit if you want to be eligible for a Monat Reunion. That is why I walked you through the individual steps in the beginning, how you can qualify. Yes, you have to sell a certain amount of product, but you must recruit. You must have a team of people under you, at least 2, and you must be at the second rank. We take a look at Monat's income disclosure statement. The income disclosure statement from Monat themselves, at the moment I'm referring to the one from 2021, because at the moment when I'm filming this video, 2022 income disclosure statement is not out yet. But over 96% of people in Monat are at the lowest rank. So less than 4% of people are even eligible for this trip. I don't think it is that easy to achieve. It is one of the easier trips. It is one of the easier Monat incentive trips, but that doesn't mean that it is easy, because if it were, more people would be attending.
Is so scared to take the first step because they think like, you can't do what I do, you can't get on social media, but like people don't see my day one and like where I was at. Like everybody starts from somewhere, right? And I was talking to Steven the other day. I thought about doing this business for 2 years, and I really wish I didn't waste so much time thinking about it. I wish I would have just done it. But I mean, in 3 years, this business has truly changed my life in so many ways. It brought me out of the darkest hole I've ever been in my life. It got me out of the most depressing job that was not for me and allowed me to leave that behind and close the door. It's brought me friends that I literally could not do life without. It's brought me a support system. It's brought me confidence. It's made me push for something and not give up when it gets hard. It's challenged me. It's rewarded me. It's taken me around the world. Ring light and it's gonna die, and I want to take cute slot machine pictures. But anyways, I think people like watch me and they have interest in doing this, but they think to themselves like, oh, it's too late. Like I've thought about it for too long. I can't do it. It's too late. Everybody already uses it. But the thing is, like, Monat is such a young company and it's growing rapidly. It's the fastest #1 premium hair care company in the world, fastest growing. But if you look up, I think we have 3 million customers.
I would like to know your sources. Lots of Monat reps will spill that information, but where are the sources that it is the fastest growing company? Monat is a recruitment-based business, so you cannot compare it to a reputable, actual retail sales-based company. That's a pile of boo-boo. Please cite your sources, that would be really great. And like I said, it is a great opportunity for people to pitch their Monat business. You have a mini rags to riches story. My life before the MLM was horrible, now it is great. I have a great community of people and I'm thriving. I'm living my best life.
If you look up the nearest major city near you and you look up the population in that, it could be more than 3 million. It's like there are so many people who have no idea that this exists, and there are so many people in your audience that you don't even think are watching what you do on social media that would trust what you have to offer. And if you have something that's going to help someone, it's like it's such a feel good. You have something good to offer people and the response and the feedback is good. Hearing from customers of mine that I've never met, I think I have like customers in like every single state who I've never met, and hearing what the skincare is doing for their confidence, hearing what the hair care is doing for their confidence, like being able to take part in that, it's like it's so much bigger than the Vegas trip. It's so much bigger than the Bahamas and the Dominican Republic and the big paychecks and the Cadillac that you can earn. Like it is so much bigger when I've got girls on my team that are able to start a savings for the first time in their life, get themselves out of a job that they don't like. Like the power of this business is insane, is all I'm saying. And it's young and there's room for you too. And that's all I'm going to talk about as far as like getting in my feels about the business. But while I'm here, I would love to talk business with whoever's interested in hearing about it. I'm an open book.
And then she's going out to have pasta and to Topgolf. I don't know, it doesn't sound that appealing to me, although I do believe it is fun to be in Las Vegas with your family and friends and to have a fun time there. Yet this is a business pitch, and in a way it's a business trip as well. If you are in severe financial conditions, please don't join an MLM, because the income disclosure statement from Monat themselves shows us that it will very likely not be the solution for you. This is just your ordinary MLM pitch. Monat at this point is 8 or 9 years old. The market is saturated because it is not a customer-based business. That is also why this trip is not based on sales alone. You have to recruit people. She has a team of people. And the recruitment market for Monat in the United States, in Canada, in Europe, apparently also now in Australia and New Zealand, is very, very much saturated because they had to declare another launch at this event, as they do so regularly. And it looks like they're upping up their game of launching in new countries to not completely bleed out of reps. That's what I'm assuming, because typically they announce in September that they're launching in a new country. Let's keep an eye out for this when they have their annual conference in autumn, if they will launch in another country. In an MLM, that's not a good sign. It doesn't mean that you're opening the company up to the world. It means that the market you're in is saturated and you need to open up the company to new markets. Then to finish off day one, what I also found interesting, what I saw is that people were able to donate 5 Monat products, and they were able to donate their old purses filled with those products to women in need. The distributors apparently were asked to come to Vegas with their old purses. Then they were able to fill those up with the products, and it was being gifted as a charitable event to women in need in the Las Vegas area. Now, I do not know if Monat or the distributors paid for the products. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if the distributors actually had to purchase the mini products that they then put into those bags, or if Monat did that themselves. But here is my take on this. The person I'm showing you who's doing this is a pastor's wife, so it is really important for her to also show her belief and also to show certain charitable activities. I believe that comes with the territory. First of all, I don't want to shit on people or companies who do something charitable. I think that is awesome and that is worth supporting. My issue with this is, if you want to do something good for charities, or if you want to help a company, an organization, please get in contact with them beforehand and ask them what they need. In my experience, most of the times, charities are really needing money. If they need to buy products, whatever their cause is, they're really well connected to third-party suppliers who can give them a good deal, and they themselves also know what kind of products they need to help for whatever charitable cause. I don't know if Monat travel-sized products will do a lot of charitable things for women in need. In the end, it is a marketing tool for Monat to also have their products being spread and to potentially recruit people. I mean, Monat doesn't pitch to people whose lives are great. That is a very sinister thing if that is the approach the company is taking, if that is why they're also charitable, not just as a tax write-off and not just to have the products being featured on reels and on videos like this. But Monat pitches to people who are vulnerable, who are looking for something. And I hope that that is not the reason that these products are being given to the charitable cause for women in need in Vegas. If you want to help a charitable cause, money most of the time, or your work, is what is being appreciated most. And if you're unsure, please contact the charity. They will be able to tell you exactly what they need. Then on day 2, the main event started, the general session that everybody was invited to. People were celebrated who were included into the MDC, the $1 Million Club. People who were able to make $1 million in commission over their lifetime in Monat. That is the MDC Club. Then we also saw people being celebrated who were a part of the Monat Motor Club, who were walking around with miniature Cadillacs, who were paraded around like tokens, because that is what you ultimately are. And that is what I believe the ultimate reason for conventions and for parties and for incentive trips like this is. Number 1, to show off on social media how great of a community you are. And number 2, to show the people who are already in the company what you can achieve. Motor club, meaning you might get a Cadillac. You yourself have to purchase that, but the company might or might not give you money towards that payment depending on whether you're able to hit certain requirements. And the MDC Club is also always garnished with people telling their rags to riches story, how horrific their lives were before, and what a difficult financial situation they were. But then afterwards, when they joined Monat, everything turned to the better. That is ultimately what these flashy shows are meant for. What I found a bit surprising though is that this entire setup looks a little bit smaller and a little bit more lackluster than before. I have seen and watched a lot of anti-MLM videos before, and if I remember correctly, this was supposed to be the biggest bash and the family Monat MoFam reunion in spring. This looks rather small if you take a look. Maybe it's just the perspective of the videos, but if you take a look at the room where the general session was held, it doesn't look like there were a lot of people there, and it looks a lot smaller than the years before. You didn't fill up an entire arena, that is obvious. The arena convention always happens in September, I get that. That is the one where you can purchase the tickets, but this looks rather lackluster and rather small. I mean, if this is one of the easier incentive trips to earn, I would have expected for more people to be there. Now, that could be for various reasons. Number one, it is very close to Easter. I don't know about the United States, but Good Friday and Easter Monday are holidays here. The days are off. And Monat this year happened up until Thursday before Easter, so the timing is maybe off. When I did my research in advance, I also saw that a lot of people who I suspected would be attending this event didn't attend. Now, granted, some people might not have been able to hit the requirements. Some of the leaders, though, that for sure had to hit the requirements were not showing up themselves, were traveling elsewhere, enjoying their life, and I think that's great. But I have a feeling that Monat might be losing grip on its own representatives. If you don't even think it is that interesting to return to Monat Reunion. Maybe that is just my impression, but I found that rather interesting. Lots of people were going on vacation. They claimed that they were qualified for this trip, but then they rather spend time with their family, which I think is awesome. If you're on vacation with your family, prioritize that over a culty Monat convention, yes. But in the past years, that didn't happen. Lots of people were bragging and were saying, well, it's my son's birthday, or we were supposed to go to a family vacation, but now it's Monat time. So I have a feeling that Monat is losing its power over its own representatives. In addition to that, Monat also at the general session announced that they were going to launch in France, and that they launched a new acne skincare line, which of course was also a great opportunity for Monat to shill the products a certain amount of percentage off. Yes, that's what reputable and the fastest growing companies in the world do. They launch a new product line and they already give you 45% off for a limited amount of time, creating FOMO because you really have to get your hands on these now. That's also another thing I believe that these conventions are for, or these incentive trips are for. They're also a way for the company to sell you their shit. Now it's the best time to get your hands on these and then also promote these to others, which is also ultimately what the reps did. We're going to launch in France and we have a new product line. Come and join my team. Day 3 was pretty much a leisure day for the people that are not considered leaders. They were able to do stuff with their friends and with their teammates, go out for lunch, go out for dinner, go out for whatever you wanted to. But the directors were invited to the directors' brunch. And I would like for you to take a look at the setting, because it does look very much conferencey room to me. So is it that enticing? No, not really. I mean, you get food. I guess that's great. But it looks very much like a conferencey room with people throwing speeches at you. I have been in Vegas before. I haven't been to the MGM, but either it is an older hotel and the conference rooms look like this, or Monat went the cheap route. Give us the small rooms, the ones at the end of the corridor. I don't know. This doesn't look that appealing to me. It very much looks like a business trip. If you survived the director's brunch or if you had a regular leisure day, you were also able to meet up with your teams. Some of the leaders were throwing team parties at Topgolf. I don't understand the obsession with Topgolf, but okay. And then in addition to that, it was also important for Monat to throw out the last day of promotion for the new acne skincare line. 48% off for launch. Yes, that is what reputable skincare companies who believe in their products do. They're creating FOMO and they're already reducing this amazing product line by half. Yes, that was irony. And then we're at day 4 and it is time to say goodbye and to check out. But in good old Monat tradition, we also had to witness worship in the desert with our president, Stuart. What I was surprised was that a lot of the typical people you see at worshiping with the president of Monat, they were not attending. Maybe once again because of timeline, they had to drive home to their families to be home for Easter. Could very well be. This time it was a very, very small group of people assembling in the desert to worship with the president of Monat, who's not a priest. I don't have an issue with people who want to thank the Lord or who want to exercise their religion, but this connection, as typical as it is very unfortunate. There is something called the separation of state and church, meaning if you are in a company that is not a religious company, because it's not a religious hospital or a religious school, your religion doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what your belief is. But here, the Christian belief is being pushed, and pushed. And that is what I find upsetting to see. Your business should not have anything to do with your religious beliefs. It also ultimately excludes people who believe in other religions. And that is why the separation of state and religion is very important. To not discriminate and to not exclude people who have another belief. As point 5 on my agenda, I wanted to talk about the aftermath, but to be honest with you, there is not a lot of aftermath. All of this really settled down quickly, and although it was a very culty convention, it did seem small to me, on a very small scale, with less people than I would have expected. It looks like it was a very small venue. And yes, the director's brunch, it for sure looked like a regular conference room. The main event itself was in the small room. So not that many people, I guess, were attending. Or not a lot of people were able to hit the requirements. This is the trip that you can earn that seems to be the most doable, because you need to hit the second rank of the company and you need to have at least 2 people on your team and the rest is sales requirements. So what is it? Are people finding it harder and harder to fulfill those requirements? Is Monat bleeding even more reps? Is this situation not encouraging to the reps themselves? Kind of attending there, especially if you're a leader, you have to be inspirational to your team. But so many people who were definitely eligible for this trip didn't attend. So it looks to me that Monat is maybe losing grip on their team members. And even though it could just be that this was really ill-said because it was so close to Easter, years before, lots and lots more people, I believe, would have attended this event and would have left their families and also their Easter celebrations behind. Leaders traveled elsewhere to enjoy time with their families, which is great to see, but it tells me that something must have changed. I do believe that Monat is not doing well. I do believe that Monat is tanking because Monat is always trying to put up a big show. This for sure was inspirational to some of the people, and also as a marketing tool, you have to put it out on social media to your followers, to your own team members, to potential new recruits or customers, how inspiring this is. The pictures look different. I don't know. What are your thoughts on this? Maybe I'm just having too critical of an eye because of the anti-MLM content that I'm doing, but this didn't look as appealing to me as other Monat events did. It was rather lackluster and it was a really small scale, smaller than I would have expected. If you like these types of videos, please consider subscribing. If you like this video, please give it a like. If you would like to let me know something, please do so in the comment section down below. And if you like these types of videos, then hopefully I will see you in my next one. Until then, tschüss!